Done.
Okay, Amber, you're good to go.
All right.
This is my son Wyatt.
Hi, Wyatt.
And he's changing the channels. But I guess I just went around locally and just set up interviews and whatnot. And that's how I did it, I guess. I don't know.
That's awesome. Tell us, like, would you just call people that you know and say, hey, I've got something to share with you. Do you want to meet up?
Yeah. But it was just luckily people around here don't really know much about it.
Yeah.
So
that's awesome.
Pretty much live in the middle of nowhere. So
see, sometimes people use that as an excuse. They say I live like in a small town. I don't know anybody, but I mean, even in your town, there's still people that you can talk to, right?
Oh yeah, people come out of everywhere.
And so, yeah, I mean, it's so simple, but I think a lot of us overlook that. Like, they might think that they just have to post on their Facebook and that's where their business is going to come from. But I know for me, when I was new, I didn't hardly even use Facebook for my first couple of years in the business. I didn't post about it works or anything. I went out and met people. So it's good that we kind of remember that there is like a world out there where you can go face to face. And so would you be able to tell us a little bit about like what you say when you reach out to people and you want to meet up with them and tell them about it works? Because I'm sure people would want to know what to say.
I just I bring the pamphlet with all the products on it, and I start with the wraps, and I'll show them like just pick out a product and show it to them and explain it to them what it does, and like products that I think they'd be interested in according to how I know them, or just tell them about the product, and I'd show them pictures. Like I have results that I have from the wraps I've done, and I have some results from Pinterest I've picked up, and that's it. It's not really too difficult to show people what it does. I mean, there's a lot of results out there that proves it works. So
super simple, you guys, just showing her personal results. And that's something huge that we talked about last week. It's that your personal results speak loudly to people. And then just pointing them through the catalog, having a chat, talking about what you think they would like. Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing. You can mute yourself again if you want. I know that it's out of your comfort zone to share, so I appreciate that you did it anyway. I really, really love your work. So congratulations on your 4 loyal customers and double the 400 club. Woohoo!
Oh, thank you.
That's amazing. Congratulations.
Jackie, you want to have a little share?
Sure. Well, my name's Jackie Zajewka, Presidential Diamond Leader. I want to share that I never built my business on Facebook either. We were doing wrap parties and just doing one-on-ones and meeting up with everybody that we could. Facebook really, I'm not saying it didn't, it certainly helped my business, but it was more people on my team rather than myself that was building that way. I've always been a belly-to-belly builder and just building relationships and stuff and just getting in front of people, which I think will never change, right? You can't alter that. That's, humans having human conversation. I just think you can't get any better than that no matter what. So, Jackie, I'm not sure what I missed from what you guys talked about, but, Denise was saying on one of the calls earlier that Facebook it's not building the same way as it used to be able to. So, getting people to kind of get back into belly to belly is always a great thing because it never changes. It's always the one consistent in this industry is that getting in front of people, you can't get better than that.
Yeah, you didn't miss much. I was just sharing what was going well for me this week and kind of introing the call. And I said, what's been going well for me lately has been getting out and meeting other moms. And then once I meet them in person, I add them to Facebook. Or if I meet them through Facebook, then I add them in person. So there's always that, personal connection. And like, then they see what I'm doing on Facebook and it's just dripping on them. And that feeling, Jackie, I know you've been there too. You meet someone in person and that they're going to be on your team one day, and you could envision it. And then you add them to Facebook and you see them liking your posts about the business, and you're like, yep, this is happening.
Yeah, totally. Well, it's so nice because there's so many people looking for what we have. And the only way to connect with them and share that with them is doing that through some way, right? And so meeting people on social media is just like the easiest, simplest way for people to get a little glimpse into what we're doing. And then we have so many great online parties, and there's so many other ways to use social media to connect with people that way. So it's amazing that you just never know who you're going to meet, and you never know how you're going to meet them. So is there anybody else on the call, Jackie, that you wanted to have share, or do you have a baby crying?
Yes. Everyone. I want to hear from everyone.
Okay, cool. Okay, well, let's do that. Let's do what we normally do. So we normally take the first little while of our call, and we want to connect with everybody and see who has some wins that they want to share. So something awesome that happened to you this week, or something that's upcoming, maybe somebody off your chicken list you connected with, anything like that. So who wants to be brave and share?
I'll share.
Sure.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Who's speaking?
It's Tannis. Hi. Hi. Sorry. I was just running around outside with my daughter. Sorry. I'm just on my phone right now. So you know what I've been doing, and I've been continually doing this since day one. I know both Jackies, you guys, we all run our businesses a little bit differently, but I've really, really been focusing on getting out samples to people that I meet online. Whether it's people like today, I had met a girl about a week and a bit ago, and I just met up with her today for coffee, and I took her like a little baggie, and I was like, oh, you'd be so good at this. And now she's interested in becoming a distributor, right? So, you know what, I send out little baggie. I understand when you start in the beginning, you might not have a whole bunch of samples to be able to give away, but truly investing in your business is everything. Giving a couple green samples and maybe a wow and a chew. And I've been giving every now and then, I'll do like contests on Facebook and giving a wrap and just being really excited and send a thank you card. And it really goes a long way. So I've been trying to send out usually like 10 or so samples a week. So that's about 40 people. And so that's 40 people right there that I'm connecting with, getting them excited about the products, and they always become distributors or customers. So, I really, really like to focus on just, just connecting with people. And it's true about Facebook. It is different. So, if you're on Facebook, you have to really be connecting with people's posts and not sharing stuff and just making, your own posts. I think that's really important too.
Okay, so what do you mean by your own posts? Is like sharing your own before and afters, your own results, like just being genuine?
Well,
your posts?
Yeah, and like I've said this to a couple, like just a lot of new girls I know who have joined lately, and I understand when we join, we really, we're not totally sure what we're supposed to be doing on Facebook. And I love that gal who just shared in the beginning how she got her 4 customers, because I know for me, like I wanted to get those 4 customers right away, and I wanted to learn. I wanted to soak up as much as possible, from my leaders to figure out what I needed to do, right? So on Facebook and Instagram, it's just really learning what to do, right? So if you are going to be building on social media, you have to do it the right way. And if you are going to be doing parties and vendors, you have to be consistent in that, right? So you want to pick one thing or a few things that are really going to work for you and be really consistent. You can't post once a week on Facebook and then say nothing's happening in your business, right? So, find out what works for you and be really excited and consistent and passionate and really learn as much as possible. Get on as many Zooms and calls. And the more that you're involved and you're, really wanting to learn and grow in this business, the better you're going to do. Because I know, Jackie, you were in this you were in network marketing, but, you know, other Jackie, she had never done anything like this before, you know, and a lot of us, you know, when we start a business like this, we don't know what we're doing. So I think the biggest thing is, especially newbies, really learn what you need to do, you know, because I mean, I had no idea what I had to do, and I just wanted to learn as much as possible. So that's my biggest advice, I think, and just kind of what I've been working on and trying to help everybody as much as possible on the team right now.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing, Tannis. Well, your business has been really like fun to watch grow and everything like that, because you've been through a lot of stuff, and you know, people have come and gone on your team and everything like that, but you have, no matter what's happening, you always are like, I'm going to the top. I'm going to the top. And, you know, and I think that people can take a lot from that, because the more you say it, the more you believe it, the more you put it out to the universe, like the more you're telling people, it just gives more power to it. So I think that's, you know, that's something that I think is very powerful.
Well, thanks, Jackie. I think it's really, really important. I mean, I know there's a lot of people that, I remember when I first made my first post on Facebook, I thought, oh, what are people going to think? And I know I chat with a couple of my girls earlier in a message, and they were saying how they're nervous and they're shy. And I totally get that. But you know, as soon as you get out of your shell and you're just, you know, remember what your why is, and, you know, whether you really need to make that income, or you want to stay home with your kids, or you want to retire your husband, or, you know, you need extra money, or whatever it is, I think you get over it pretty fast. And the personal development, and just believing in yourself, because if you don't believe in yourself, nobody else is going to believe in it. Right. So people are joining you first, and then they want to know about It Works. So that's the biggest thing. People are joining you, and then they want to know what you're doing. So I think that's really important, because I mean, I follow a lot of actually network marketers, because I think they're really inspiring, and they're not even with It Works, right? But I think, you know, once you know, figure out your brand and what you want to do with your business, that's how people really start watching you. You know, they see your passion, they see your consistency, which is number one. Consistency is number one. And so that's why I say, if you're going to do social media, or you're going to do parties or events, you have to be consistent with it, because people are watching you. They want to see, like, I know so many people wanted to see whether I was going to quit or whether I was going to fail. And I had so many negative people, and it actually really, really pushed me. Like it, you know, it made me be stronger, and, you know, want this even more. People who, you know, might not have believed in me, or, you know, thought this was silly, or, you know what I mean? But those people either join, or they're just going to live their lives and be unhappy with whatever they're doing. So just focus on you.
Totally. And I love that, Tannis. And I just want to say that, like, you're like, some people are going to like criticize you, and then like later they'll join you and stuff. And some people never will. Like, you know, people think that, that maybe we get a lot of support, you know what I mean? And we could, you know, the thing about it is that like, we don't, you know, we have to kind of push ourselves through it, because sometimes our family doesn't believe in us. Sometimes our spouse doesn't believe in what we have going on. Like, they believe in us, but they don't believe in the opportunity or the company, because they haven't felt what we felt. They haven't seen what we've seen. I know that, like, you know, my family personally, a lot of the people in my family don't even know really what it is that what I do. And like, I know even like a while ago, one of my family members posted something about direct sales being like scammy and stuff like that. So it doesn't matter what level you get to, you're still going to have people in your life that don't believe in it, don't believe in what you have going on and stuff like that. And that's okay. They're still broke. They're still living, you know what I mean? They're still sitting there complaining about things that they don't know anything about, you know? And so I think that you have to sometimes be your own person, do what you want to do, understand your vision, spend time with the people who get it and who believe in you, and not worry about the people who don't. They don't affect you. They don't pay your bills. They're not coming over to help you. You know what I mean? It's usually the people who are criticizing the most sometimes understand everything the least. And that's okay. Let them do their thing. You don't have to understand what they're doing, you know, and we don't, you know, and it goes both ways. So I think that sometimes we think that sometimes the people who are doing well have had a lot of support. And the reality of it is that sometimes that just doesn't exist. We have to sometimes push through it. I know that we've all probably had people in our lives that we really care about kind of stick their nose up to what we're doing or judge it in a way that they don't know what they're talking about. So I know I've experienced that. So whether they do or they don't, it doesn't affect me. I don't care. I kind of shrug my shoulders and laugh it off, you know. And
yeah, you have to get over it, like, and remember why you are doing it, right? Like,
right.
it's just, I mean, I was saying to one of my girls the other day on the phone, it's like, if someone doesn't like your hat, you know, like, who cares? It's your hat, right? I mean, there's so many judgmental people, and especially your first couple months in your business, you're going to have negative people. And I also want to say this. I know, just from my team alone, I mean, we all are going through something in our lives, or, you know, and it sucks when there's negative people, but you know what? When you push past it and you really grow from it, you won't even worry about those people. And then you'll get to, like, you know, presidential and ambassador, and you'll just laugh. Like, you'll just laugh. It's just funny to me now, you know? So, but yeah, I hear that.
So go ahead, Jackie.
Sorry, I still get people like that too. And the question is, do you let them slow you down? Do you let them, like, make you be quiet? Or do you remember that you need to be loud because you need to help the people that do want it? Don't be quiet just because some people don't want or need your help. You've got to remember that there's people out there who really need your help. And I did a post the other day, and that was, I guess, one of my wins, that I felt like I finally really put my words together really well for once, sharing my heart and just saying the reason why I will never stop sharing about what I do is because somewhere out there, there's somebody praying for another way to live their life, and they don't even know that this exists. And it's my duty to share that with them and help them, you know. Like, there's probably a mom out there who's devastated at the fact of having to leave her baby in childcare to go make a living. And she needs me to share that, like, there is a way to be home with her baby and still help pay the bills.
Jackie, I love that you say that, because I was one of those moms, and I saw your post the other day. It was really, really good. And you know what? Like, I remember, like, if I didn't keep seeing that girl post about It Works, I never would have thought, I wouldn't have even known anything about the company. I kept watching that girl. I kept watching her be consistent and excited. And I remember that from day one. So I always tell people, what made you join? Most of my girls say that they've watched me or they've watched someone. So do what those people do, you know? If that girl didn't keep talking about how excited she was, and then talking about the bonuses, and, you know, how she was living at home with her family and she retired her husband, like, I would have just gone back to my job after mat leave, lived paycheck to paycheck for the rest of my life. Well, I mean, who knows what I would have done. But it's so true, like what Jackie says, if we're not sharing it with people, we're not doing our job. And the more people we share it with, the more people we help, and it's helping us too, right? So, look at Stanley.
Well, I think the thing about it too is that we share with people, and what they decide to do with it is not in our control. Like, we're giving out blessings. What people choose to do with those blessings is completely up to them. You know, we don't need to feel bad if somebody doesn't get it. They may get it tomorrow. They may get it in 3 months from now. You know, that's not up to us to decide. I know that I was introduced to the company, you know, quite a few times before I was ready to jump in. And, but it really wasn't my time yet. And so I'm not sure, you know, if anybody else can relate to that, but like, you know, just being consistent with what you're doing, and the right people will see it and want to become a part of it. And so, you just got to be you just got to do you, and do it with pride, and do it, like, you know, always be wearing your gear, and like, you know, you just got to keep representing, like, you know, what everybody's saying the same thing, but you don't know who you can help. You don't know whose life you can change. I mean, Jackie, without It Works, would you have the life that you have? I mean, you get to travel, you have a baby now, like, watching your transformation.
I'm really grateful, and I'm one of those people that actually said no, or even worse than saying no, I just ignored the first message that I got from someone who I went to high school with. Messaged me about It Works, and I just ignored it the first time. And so I'm so lucky that she was persistent and followed back up with me and offered me a chance to get what I wanted. So the first message was very salesy and just stating why It Works was so great, and I was like, I don't care. The second message was like, I see you're not happy with what you're doing. I used to feel the same way, and now I have a great life. Maybe you'd like to look into this. And that was personal. She was showing how she could help me, how she could relate to me. And I was like, well, yeah, I'd be crazy not to be open-minded and at least look into it. I mean, I want what she has, so why not look into it? See if I can get that too.
I love that she wrote you a big long message and you're like, pass. And then she wrote you 2 sentences and you're like, okay, I'm interested. So if anybody can see about working smart and not hard, there's a message inside of there that I love to point out.
Absolutely.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I love that story so much because sometimes less is more. Like we have to remember sometimes less is more, and dripping on people and planting seeds is what we want to do, right? So, and your story is a perfect analogy for that, because how much work did she put into writing that first message? You know what I mean? Like, how much work was that? It was a detailed, long message that probably had the history of the company, all the products, like had everything in there. And you're just like, no. And then all of a sudden it was like, I see that you're looking for something. Are you interested in maybe what I have going on? And you were like, okay, maybe I'm interested. Let me find out more. So I just love that analogy about how keeping it simple is much more effective. And
I don't care about the company's statistics just yet until I know that it might be something that's right for me, right? Once I think that it can help me get what I want, then maybe I want to know more about it.
Totally. So that's a really important thing, because I know that, like, I don't think that people do it as much now, but you know, we vomit on people, and we can do that in a message too, right? Where we can give them too much information and they shut down, as opposed to just giving them a little bit of information and having a conversation, you know, and being real with people, going, you know, he's saying something and then asking a question so that you're having a conversation instead of just letting them know what you want them to know. So
yeah, and so my moral of the story, one thing that's been going really well for me as well is just being loud. So be loud and really work on your posture. Like, you want to come across as someone who's confident, who believes in what they're doing, who is 100% sure that they know where they're going with this, and that stuff's just going to roll off of you. Like, if people aren't interested, that's okay. It's not going to make or break you. You know, like, you know, you're happy, you're confident, you're going there whether they're coming or not. And in the beginning, when you're new, it takes time to borrow confidence. I used to borrow, like, my upline's confidence. I used to pretend that I was, you know, Denise, or pretend that I was Pam, like, in my mind, you know, just be like, what would they say? How would they act? How would they approach the situation? And then you become it. As you practice it, it becomes real. It becomes your truth. So be loud, and don't ever feel like you have to apologize for sharing your passion, because some people might not be ready to see it yet, but a lot of people are going to be watching, and they're going to be really impressed.
love it.
I love that.
I think too that, like, you might, like, it's interesting to look at your life and go, if I wasn't with It Works, would I have had a baby? You know what I mean? Because I know that Stephanie Ash is the same way. I don't know. I don't think she's on the call, but it's because she has the freedom that she has, that she made the choices that she made. And so I find that that's really interesting too, because you don't know where this business can take you, where this life can take you. As long as you're committed to it and you know you want bigger and better things, it's incredible what you can create. So we have a few people with stuff. And so either one of you ladies, there's 2 people with their hands up. Either one of you guys can go ahead and unmute yourself and share.
I have a question.
Sure.
Okay, so what is the best way to go about advertising off of social media?
Well, I'm just going to say it's your personal story and being yourself, being genuine. I think I'm going to let the other 2 ladies take the rest of this, because you guys are the queens of social media.
Sorry, what did she say? It fuzzed up for me. What did she say? I'm sorry.
Oh, not on social media. Sorry. Can you rephrase? Can you say your question again?
I'm just want to know the best way to advertise, like, not on social media, in public.
Sorry, I didn't hear you the first time. So not on social media. Okay, yeah. So, well, we have our Blitz cards. So it's always nice to be able to hand out Blitz cards and go talk to people, go meet people that way. And Yeah, wearing your It Works gear. We have a decal on the back of our vehicle. It always draws attention, especially when you have that, like they have buttons that says "Ask me about It Works," ask me how it works, and different things like that. We can do trade shows. I think that you just meeting people and making friends, and what Karen says, expos, anything like that. I've done trade shows and like expos for a very long time to make contacts because I didn't have a lot of friends or family that would be interested. So I had to go out and make new friends. And I always knew that when I started my business, I knew that it wasn't going to be my friends and my family that were going to be my business. I knew that I wanted something bigger than that. My vision was bigger than my circle. And so I pushed myself to do trade shows, expos, markets, anything like that where I could connect with people and talk to them. Did you just want to know where to meet people, or is there do you want to know a little bit more about connecting with them? Because I honestly, personally, and there's also networking groups, which is something that I moved to a new area and I don't know anybody here. So I came out and was like, okay, I'm here to make friends. And I literally I've stood in a group of women who are networking and they're like, well, what are you looking for? And I'm like, I'm looking to make friends. And that's 100% the truth. And the thing about it is that when I make good friends, some of them are going to see what I'm doing and it's going to be the right fit for them. And then they're always going to be welcome to join my business. And some of them, it's not going to be their thing, but I still want more friends. We can never have too many friends, especially local ones. So I think the whole thing about it is that make connections, find people you have things in common with, whether it's at the dog park, whether it's when you're getting your nails done, no matter what you're doing, you're always meeting people. You have such a great opportunity to make people's day by giving them compliments, smiling at them. When you're open to meeting people, your energy shifts. You stand up straighter, you make good eye contact, you smile at people. Some people don't even understand. Sometimes you'll smile at them and they'll be shocked because no one smiled at them in so long. And I mean, we need more love in this world. So no matter what happens, you can't give too much of that away. And so I think just be fun, be friendly, go out and meet people, introduce yourself, say your name to people, practice saying your name, saying it a few times to people so that they don't forget, because people usually have a hard time with names and then they feel uncomfortable. They don't want to ask again. So take it upon yourself to say your name more than once. I'm Jackie, just learn to say that. It makes people feel more comfortable and it's going to get them to remember you more. And so connecting with them in a personal way and then trying to connect with them on a social media way, like letting them get on your Facebook, you can try and be have the kind of friendship or kind of connection where you can say, hey, let's be friends on Facebook. And then you just literally hand them over your phone when it's ready to find them, and they'll find themselves. I've never, ever, ever had somebody say, no, good, right? I don't want to be friends. Everybody always grabs your phone and makes that connection. And then now you have a new Facebook friend. So does anybody else, Jackie, Tannis, anybody else want to add to that?
Yeah, I like that. I mean, wherever you go, you're meeting people, right? And when you're putting yourself out there, I mean, I always ask people about their lives and then they ask you about yours, right? So then you ask them what they do maybe. And then I always get people to somehow ask me what I do. And then I'll just, start chatting about it, it's not, we don't have to make it awkward, you can just be yourself and just, just tell people all about what you do and be really excited. And like what Jackie Marchand said, you got to be bold with people and you have to be confident. I mean, even when you just start, if you're a brand new distributor and your goal is to get, that first distributor or go Ruby or go Diamond or whatever it is. I knew when I joined, I had to go Diamonds. It had to happen. So, just decide what your goal is and then work accordingly to that goal, So, if I go to the post office or if I go to the store, and I feel like I'm always chatting with people. I don't just walk up to a person and hand them a Blitz card. I feel like I'm always chatting with someone. I'll have it on my purse, or I like what Karen just said, she has it on her wallet. But I feel like whenever I'm at the post office, I actually make my husband go now. But whenever I do go, or I'm at Shoppers Drug Mart or something, I just start talking to people. I do build a lot on social media. So whatever you do, just, figure out what works for you, whether, you want to do it that way, or, do lots of parties, or ask your friends for referrals, or ask your friend to have a party for you. And, maybe your best friend's friend or sister has been looking into doing something like this. You never know who your next distributor and customer is. And I've always said this since day one, every single person is a potential. I look at my entire team and every single person's a potential. So when you think it that way and you act like it that way and you're confident about it, like, you know, that's how your business is going to go, right? So just be always confident and put yourself out there, and you're always going to get back what you put out.
I love what you said. You're always going to get back what you put out. So, I mean, I'm just going to add to that, to the tail end of that, Tannis. So when we went to Tony Robbins, he basically let us know that, like, we are the ones who create energy. It's us personally. It's what comes from inside of us. And so when we're having conversations with people and we're excited, they're going to get excited, you know? And so we're in control of that. It's how we're feeling when we have a strong posture and we're confident in what we're talking about. We have the ability to influence other people based on our excitement. And when you can do that and you understand that you have that power, it's incredible how you can, you can create the conversation that you want to create based on what your intentions are. Does that make sense? Yes?
I love that.
Okay. Tony Robbins, right?
I love Tony.
Every time we got to talk about Tony. Tara had her hand up, and I think Sandy had her hand up. So we'll go to Sandy.
Okay, I'll go ahead. I actually, just to touch based on what you said, and I'll actually ask my regular question. How you said what you put out. I had something happen today with one of my newest distributors, and you know, she feels like she's been struggling trying to get loyal customers or etc. And she used to do It Works before, ironically on my old team, but she wasn't underneath me. How weird is that? So long story short is she's been completely putting herself out there, and I keep on telling my team this. I was like, I believe in you even when you don't believe in yourself. And she messaged me the other day, and she said, I just want to let you know. She's like, I lost my best friend. And I actually don't know her that personally. We went to high school, but she's a lot younger than me. She's like, I lost my best friend like 11 years ago, and I've never found anyone in my life that I can actually trust. And I feel like when people trust you, they easily come to you. So I've been teaching her that, but where we lead today is yesterday she went to a local gas station that she knows the girl there. She goes in every single day to get cigarettes. And she literally left Blitz cards for her. And the lady's been handing them out left and right. So she's already had a couple potentials. And she had one guy that said to her, I want to lose some belly fat, but I want energy and all this stuff. And I was like, offer the system. She's like, oh, I don't know. That's kind of too much. I go in with the confidence and offer that to them. And then you know where to go and ask him what his goals are, you know, et cetera. And she was like, oh my God, he wants a system. And I was like, amazing. Oh my God. I was like, just don't meet him. Make sure you're meeting him in a public place because you don't know this guy. Long story short, from handing out a Blitz card at the gas station, the guy literally signed up as a loyal customer today with the system.
Wow.
And that it just blows my mind. And just for her to feel confident in herself. And I was like, just go all in. And just like Tana said, you give what you get, or give what you know what I'm trying to say. But I wanted to touch on that. Sorry, I ramble a lot. But my question originally, what I had was actually, it's for my team. I have a couple of my girls on my team that have asked me, and I know I put them in group chats with Tannis and Chelsea and stuff. So maybe we get some other opinions here, or maybe some tips. I have a couple girls that added for sneak peeks on the team pages, and a lot of them feel like they lose the contact or lose the excitement of the people that they add. And some people are adding like 2 or 3 at a time when they're on fire in one day, and then they lose that fire. Any tips and advice for them on how to keep that excitement with them to get them to sign up?
Hi. Oh, sorry. I'm here again. You know what? I like to get people on the phone. I think if people hear your voice, they hear your excitement, and you just already assume that they're signing up, they feel comfortable, they get that connection, and they see that they're part of a family. If they see that you're not really trying to connect with them, or you're not really like assertive enough, or I'm very assertive. Like I don't want to call myself pushy, but I am very bold with people. I tell people, I'm like, girl, you need to join my team. Like, let's get you started. What day can you join? Like, let's do this. And I'll put like a smiley face, or I'll voice chat them. Because if you are excited and you are already putting it out there that, hey girl, like you need to do this with me, that person's going to get that confidence right away. If you don't really follow up with them, they're going to be like, okay, well, you know what I mean? And I know we were chatting about this, Tara, and I know, Tara, you're very much like me. You're very bold with people. And I think not everybody has that confidence, right? Not everybody has that, right? So I think sometimes with people, like what Jackie M said, you need to borrow that confidence sometimes. Maybe you haven't signed up, maybe someone hasn't signed up a distributor yet, or, they're just getting started, or they're trying to figure out what their goals are. I think, to just talk to their uplines more and, do more personal development, watch videos, and just believe that they can do it. Because once they have that energy, and they're, even voice messaging someone, if they don't want to get on the phone with you, I voice message people a lot because it's quicker, especially if I'm busy or running around with Harley, and you can just voice message them and be like, hey girl, like, I know you've been on the page, for a couple days. I'm excited to get you started, and you keep it short and simple, so I think if you leave it and you don't connect with them, that's when people are going to lose their interest, So you have to really be on top of that. I think people really need to be on top of that, because that's how you'll close distributors.
So basically, you're just maintaining your rapport, being excited, doing your follow-ups, staying connected with them. And is there anything else? Because I know that I have to say that you and Jackie are the two that I think ask the most amount of people to join your team, and you guys are both building, you guys both have built for so long, so consistently. So ask everybody, right? Like, why not? You don't know what you can do for them. Is there anything that you wanted to add to that, Jackie?
I always invite them to an online party, because then they can see everyone else's excitement. It kind of gives it a little bit more credibility, not just one person telling them, yeah, join my team, it's great, but you're seeing all these other people raving about the products and raving about how the business has changed their lives. Or get them to a meetup. Like, I've been meeting up with my local team. We just get together and we work, and we have food and coffee, and we bring our babies and kids, and I've been asking my prospects to, hey, come along, we meet up, you can see how we work, you can meet the team.
Love that. So inviting, right? Just keep inviting, being excited, being consistent. That's great. Does that answer the question?
One of my girls, Kylie, just promoted to Ruby yesterday. Yay! She couldn't make the call today because she's looking for a new place to live. But I asked her to share her tips. So is it okay if I read them to you guys? Do you want to hear?
Yep.
So I'll tell you a bit about her story. So she's a local girl in Australia, and we met on Facebook, and she just said she had such a good feeling about what she saw me putting out there. She's like a vibes person. Like, she goes off what she feels, and she's a former teacher, and she loves, teaching and helping people, but was just found she was getting caught up in all the policies and, all the rules and like the school system. She found it too much about the workplace drama and, not as much about the education. So she went out and she became a tutor, and she has got a tutoring business, but she's always looking for abundance and more opportunities in life. And so she saw what I was putting out there on Facebook, joined the team February last year, and then had life get in the way. Her partner got in a really bad motorcycle accident, was in the hospital for a long time. She had a couple of deaths in her family, just everything. So she was out of the business for several months, but she came back. And that's the thing, you guys, it's never too late to come back or make a fresh start, or just start over if you're feeling like you've been in this for a while but you haven't really given it a go. So she came back, and what she's been doing that's been working really well is she's just sharing her heart and her passion about the products, and people can feel that she's just so genuine about it. She's always going live and showing herself with a facial, making a shake, wearing a wrap, wrapping her mom, just sharing a true passion for the products. But I'm just going to read to you what she said. She said, all I do is make my posts real, down to earth and personal, yet thoughtful of how I can help others. It's being a friend to as many people as I can, and I'm so into these products and my results are improving all the time. I also ask lots of questions to my leaders and watch how they do their posts. Then there was one other thing she wrote on my wall when I congratulated her. Always trust your intuition. It never steers you wrong. When I saw Jackie Marchant, I just had to meet her. Listen to your intuition always. I was telling my mom tonight, I can't wait to keep climbing the ladder in this business. Not to be the boss, but to share and show others who are really struggling out there and need a break. A struggling single mom, a stressed out person getting anxiety from a job that's not right for them, anyone who wants a better life. An extra $1,000 or $2,000 each month can seriously change someone's life. I reached this promotion purely through team effort, loving my team, our hearts, our behind the scenes struggles, and how we can keep motivating and believing in each other.
Wow. I'm sad that she's not on the call, but at the same time, I hope she can get on next week.
She told me.
Can you upload that? That was like perfect.
What's that?
I said, can you like copy and paste that? That's like amazing tips. That is
Sure.
like amazing. I wish I had a pen to write all that down.
Sure, I can. Let me just give me a second. Yeah, she's amazing. And she's just, she's worked on her mindset for a long time previously to joining It Works. Like that's been a goal of hers in life, is just personal development, really working on herself. She even shared that she's got some learning difficulties, and that's why she really was drawn to being a teacher, because she wants to teach people who learn in different ways. You know, because not everyone fits the one mold of this is how we learn, this is how we teach. So it's just amazing. She's just a great example of your mindset and like how you can train your brain to think a certain way and do anything really. So yeah, she promised me when she gets her house situation in order, she'll come on a call and share. She's an awesome person to hear from.
That's awesome.
That's
Well,
awesome.
thanks
I
for
love
sharing,
that.
Jackie. That's amazing. Well, I'm going to give her a clap because maybe she'll watch the recording, and I just want to let her know that we're all rooting for her. Can't wait to see her continue to promote and love the tips that she shared with us.
Yeah, you can go on my wall and congratulate her too if you want, Jax. I put up a thing and tagged her.
Absolutely. So, and Jackie will share that with you guys as well. And so, Sandy, you had your hand up. I'm sorry that it took so long to get to you. I apologize, but our call is going to go a little bit longer too. We started late, and there was a little bit of confusion, so we don't really have the time restriction that we normally have. With that said, please share, Sandy.
Okay, it's just can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. So it's just a quick answer to, I've only been on for 3 weeks. I'm a distributor for 3 weeks now. And I was doing all the posts, Facebook, Instagram. I've been posting. I work full time, and I'm doing still my posts at least 4 or 5 times a day. And today we had a barbecue lunch at work, and I had brought my Blitz cards with me. So I was sitting and I was just conversing with some of the ladies that were there and explaining to them what I did, because they see me on Facebook and they're like, so what is it that you do? And I'm explaining to them about It Works and the products that I've taken, and I love them, and I'm very passionate about greens, and I have pictures on my phone that I can like show them my before and after with greens. So as I'm doing all of this, I'm handing out my Blitz cards to everybody. And as I'm doing, I have 4 ladies that have already asked me to do a party, and I'm like, uh-oh. So I'm ready to do the party, but I'm like, okay, I'm just going to need tips on how I'm supposed to do the party when I only have limited supplies as it is.
Well, I think you can create a real good sense of urgency if you have a shortage of supply and you have all these people asking you to have parties. I would make sure that your wraps are pre-sold so that you know who's getting them. First come, first serve, put your name on the wrap. That's amazing though. Welcome to the team. Welcome to the family. 3 weeks in and already sharing on a Zoom. Like, I already think that's amazing right in itself, because sometimes people have been around for a long time and they're nervous to share. So big kudos to you for that. I think the thing about it is building your business through parties is the funnest way to build your business. You get out of your house, you get to make real connections with people. You have so much fun. There's endless ways that you can like enjoy having the party. You can do samples and You can do them outdoors. You can have facial parties. You can do all kinds of things like that. So you're just going to have a blast with it.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot.
Does anyone else have anything that they...
Way to go, Sandy.
Yes,
and Sandy's so consistent, like so consistent. I see your post. She's on a really great team on my team. And you know what? She's very, very consistent. And I notice, and I mean, you notice when you notice people, I can't even talk, but I see a lot of people's posts that are consistent. That's the biggest thing with Facebook. That's why if you are going to be on social media, you have to do it the right way, right? So you have to be, because I mean, if I didn't keep seeing that girl talk about it works, I mean, if she posts about it like once every week or so, it wouldn't make me excited, right? But the more you talk about it, people keep seeing it, and you're inviting them into your life. You're inviting them, showing them what this business is all about. I always tell people you have to talk about the opportunity at least once a day. That's one thing I've also done since day one. You have to be like trying to seek those people to join your team, because if you're not asking people, whether it's, you know, directly messaging them, calling them, or putting it on your Facebook, because sometimes people want to see you post about it and talk about it a couple times before they're just going to message you. You know, for the most part, people are going to watch you for quite a while, right? Like Jackie said, like both Jackies, myself, we all watched someone until we were ready, but we joined those people because we saw that they were going somewhere, you know, like, you know, both Jackies, their uplines, they saw they were going somewhere. They knew what they were earning and they wanted that life. If you're not showing people what this can do for them, then they're not going to join. You know, you have to show people what this is all about, you know, like I mean, I do like to talk about the income and not to brag and, you know, post about all this money you can make, but to show people the potential in our company and what our compensation plan is all about and the products that we have and, you know, what we're all about. Because if you're not showing that, you're not consistent about it, you're not confident, you know, and excited and passionate about it, people are going to scroll right on by. So that's the biggest thing with social media. And I mean, you know, parties and, oh, can you guys still hear me? My phone just blinked up. You can hear me still?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. You know, you have to be really bold and, you know, keep sharing what you're doing, because, you know, and it will get you out of your shell really quick too. And I know a lot of people join this. Most of us join this because, you know, we want to make an income and change our lives, change other people's lives. So you have to show people how it's going to change their lives. So that's the biggest thing in, you know, network marketing. You know, you have to be bold with people, and you have to plant those seeds with people, because the more harvest and, you know, the more you sow, you know, the more harvest you sow, or whatever, you know, that saying, the more connecting that you're doing with people, those people are eventually going to join. Some of the biggest rock stars on my team are people I followed up with. They ignored me. I kept checking in on them. I kept being, nice on their posts and connecting with them as friends. And then they started seeing my posts and want to know more about me and what I was doing. But it's because I was always making my business a priority and always making it exciting. Because if you're not doing that, people don't really know what it's all about. You know what I mean? So you have to keep putting yourself out there and being super consistent. So Sandy, that's great. Like, you know, I love that you're already, you know, that's exciting. Like just 3 weeks in and you're already, you know, wanting to do all these things and, you know, talk to people about it, because the more you talk about it, that's how you're going to have a successful business.
Can I say something for parties too?
Okay, we have 4 people with their hands up. So
I was just going to follow up on the party part.
Sure, go for it.
She's asking tips. So the biggest thing too for me when I was first starting the parties, like it's a bit nerve-wracking. My biggest tip is follow the party pad. Like have your party pad with you and literally follow it page by page. And I like to like sit on the floor or sit on the couch. Like don't stand up in front of people, because it makes it relatable. And then people know like, oh, I can do this too. Like she's literally flipping through this book and reading it. And like I even like to say at the beginning, okay, like before we get started, I'm going to tell you what happened to me, and then just say, okay, if you can point and read, then you can do this business, right? And it kind of breaks the ice. And then literally just like point and read so they can see like, well, she's just talking about this, and then obviously add in when you interject about the products you're passionate about, right? That you're like, if you're greens or whatnot. But if you really just show how simple it is, like you're literally reading a little booklet and it gets all the information out about everything, the products, the compensation plan and all that, it really helps to seal the deal at the end. And it even says at the end, like, what do you want to be, a customer or a distributor? So I just always suggest read the party pad, use the tools.
Totally. And the party pads are available. You can get them now from the eSuite or from the It Works store. I like the party pad. I just follow the party pad 100%. Easy to do. It keeps you on track and it shows you. And like Jessica said, I always talk about who I am for a few minutes before I even read the party pad, because what Jackie was saying, I think even Tannis, is that people are going to connect with you. They don't want to know about your business until they know about you first. So people don't care what you know until they know that you care, kind of thing. So you need to kind of like let them connect with you that way. So yeah. We could have a call that talks more about like, you know, parties and stuff like that. I know we did one before. We have a Zoom that's just on parties, but I'm sure that if anybody wants to do a Zoom that is a little bit more party directed, where we actually have the party pad in front of us and we go through it a little bit, I'm sure that would be a great way to share on a Zoom.
I would love that. Yeah.
Okay, well, we can work on that next week because it won't take that long. I think that honestly, we can talk about parties for probably 15 minutes on next week's call, and we can cover a lot of ground that way. So how does that sound?
I'll do that.
Cool. Okay, so next Wednesday, we're going to focus a little bit on parties.
Hey, Sandy, you were saying about having limited wraps, and Jackie said, you know, to get them to reserve the wraps, like first to pay is reserving a wrap. Well, they can reserve wraps that you don't even have yet. You know, like if you get more people wanting to pay you for a wrap than you have wraps on hand, well, then use that money that they're paying you to reserve their wraps to go order some more. Especially if you have wrap rewards, then you can order them at such a lower cost. And like that wrap cash is huge when you're new. I know for me, when I was new, like wrap cash was king. Like I would come home from a party with cash in hand and just so pumped. And it still is. Like I had a lady come by yesterday and she gave me $50 and a play gym for him. And I gave her some products for cash, you know, like it's the best. And I was going to say, one of the girls in New Zealand, Nicole, was sharing about how wrap cash she was in a real tough place. She had to raise the money to join. And because it was Christmas, it was a tough time. It took her 7 weeks to get people to pay cash for wraps to hit. And she just has kept going with her wrap cash ever since, and was able to get her partner off of his overtime that he was doing. And it's all been through wrap cash. So, yeah.
And I just want to say that the best way to make wrap cash is by using your wrap rewards, because that's when you're making the most amount of money, right? I see lots of heads nodding to that. Wrap rewards are like, that's what makes wrap cash so profitable, is when you get your 2 loyal customers, you get 1 wrap reward. And I know that you're able to buy wraps at a huge discount. Every country has its own little, you know, how much it costs. Like the amount of money you can make that way is like incredible. And like you said, Jackie, you just have cash in your pocket all the time for gas, for groceries, for all kinds of things. It's beautiful. Okay, so we have a couple of people with their hands up that I really want to get to. Zoila, I can't even say it. I don't even.
Zoila, can you hear me?
Yes, please
Zoila.
share, honey.
All you have to do is think of soy milk, and then you can say my name, Zoila.
Zoila.
Yes. I was just, I think I raised my hand when the young lady was speaking a few minutes ago about getting more people or just starting out or something like that. And I just came from a mini vacation, woo-hoo, about time. And so one of the things that I did there, I met up with distant relatives. They're like second, third cousins or whatnot. And I happened to bring some wraps with me, but did not have them on my purse. So one of my cousins was getting married. And as a gift, I just left her a facial wrap and a body wrap. And then some of my cousins, they just out of the blue, they asked me, hey, what is that thing you keep posting about? mind you, they never even commented beforehand, but all of a sudden we're face to face. They're curious about what I posted about. So I let them know, and they're like, oh my God, we're gonna have to try some stuff and be supportive. So I guess the lady was talking about networking. So that is another way for you to network, or if you're in organizations wherever you are locally, just, let people know. I'm in the push group. I don't know if you're doing the push group, Jackie, or someone else. The push group really does help as well with getting you out of your box a little. I think that's what I kind of want to say. So the other one that's new, because I know I've been in the business since last year, but I haven't really been able to get off the ground the way I wanted because life hits and comes in a way. But since the last month or so that I've been really hitting things have been coming. And the May push group, so whoever's listening, that push group, if you can get in there and have them teach you, because I take that as a little classroom in the way I learn, so that they're like, okay, so today we're going to do an engagement post. Do something like this. So it kind of explains to you how to space out your posts, and that you don't always have to feel like I have to do a salesy one. So I don't know. Those are tips that I've learned, and hopefully I'll be promoting sooner rather than later.
Yeah, you will. That's awesome. I thank you so much for sharing. That's really great. I love it. Oh, sorry. I think it's really cool that you're just doing life and you get to share. You're going to a wedding anyways. You get to share. You can gift your products. They're beautiful gifts for people. So you find a way to adapt your business, right? And so those are really great tips. And I love that you brought up the push group. Somebody asked in the chat if we're going to be focusing on social media at some point. The push groups have a lot of tips for social media. Like if you want to learn social media, you should be in that push group, because they're showing you what kind of posts, you know what I mean? Like there's so much in there. The parties are in there. They're giving you tips on what to post when it comes to products. There's all kinds of resources in there that you can be learning from. So if anybody wants to give a quick testimony on the push group, and then we're going to go to Danielle next. Does anybody want to share anything about the push group that they loved?
I just have to run, so I just wanted to say thanks, guys, for being on. I was on for an hour, first hour.
Sorry about that, Jess.
Jackie can be on the next hour, but I'll see you guys all next time, and hopefully on the online parties this week too.
Perfect. Thanks, hon. Love you. Have a great day.
Bye.
I was in the February push group.
Okay.
And on my that was the first one I was part of, and on my 1 year anniversary on February 28th, I went Ruby. So nice. I hadn't been working my business the way I could have, and that's just being honest. I had a house fire and stuff, and I kind of put things to the back burner. And just recently, I moved to Okotoks, and I've come to the conclusion that my problem was I wasn't asking anybody. I moved to Okotoks and I started talking to my church group, and I joined a couple yoga classes and stuff. Every single person I've talked to about the business is coming to my house this Saturday for a wrap party. So if I had done that so long ago, you know what I mean, I could have been further ahead than I am. My biggest advice is to talk to everybody. Even if someone says no, and they could just be having a bad day, but I was afraid to talk to people, and I had an aha moment just this week when I had a memory pop up on my newsfeed about Chelsea and Tannis. I had shouted them out. They had just gone diamond and double diamond, and in a year they're going, they've gone ambassador and presidential diamond. That was an aha moment for me. Not that I compare myself to them, but it's like, what is the difference between me and them? Nothing. So that was kind of a kick in the butt for me. And now I just talk to everybody. I have the beach house here advertising for me. I'm taking blitz cards to yoga and stuff. I've just joined things because I don't have a huge network outside of Facebook. So I've had to make that for myself. But I have 20 people come to my house that I know of this weekend for a wrap party. So as nervous as I am, I wish I had done it so much earlier. And that's the biggest advice I can give is it doesn't hurt to talk to people. I've learned to put it works into most of my conversations. One thing I've got a lot of from this business is self-development, and a lot of people have noticed that because I'm more positive, and we got to get over ourselves. That's the biggest thing. Even if somebody's going to say no, chances are they're going to say it nicely. No, thank you, whatever. And I've learned personally that just because they say no, they're saying no, not right now. We hear it all the time. No doesn't mean no, never. It means not right now. I have had 3 people this week that I've talked to in the past about joining my team, and then they've said yes, and then they change their mind and they say no. And now I'm going live and I'm working my social media a lot more. And I was just on a live this week, and I said to a girl, she said, "Hey, I'm still waiting for you to join my team." She said, "I'm joining next week." So last time I talked to her, she had said, "No, I don't think I want to do it," right? But she's been watching me, and I didn't know that. So that's my biggest advice. Keep it positive and you got to get over yourself. And I was the worst, but I've been in the business a year. And I've just had to learn that if I want to make it in the business, I have no choice but to get over myself. So
100%. You got to figure out what's more
Cheryl, I
important.
love that. And this girl's been through a lot. And Cheryl, I'm so proud of you. Like,
thank you.
Tannis, were you saying something? You're muted now.
oh, can you hear me now?
Now we can.
Sorry. I'm so proud of you, Cheryl, because you know what? Sometimes people join and they're just not ready right away. I know for me, I was ready and I was ready to run, right? But, you know, Cheryl, now it's your time. You know what you want. You have a plan. You're always connecting. You're always in the chats. You're always involved. And, you know, and you've been through a lot. And I feel like that's the biggest thing. Jackie, you said that to me too. Everybody needs to do a launch party and keep doing parties. It's when people tell me they've never rapped or they've never met up with people or they've never done a party and, you know, they're not really working their business and then they wonder why nothing's happening, right? You really have to be intentional and take action. You have to take action because that's how your business will grow. And it can grow really quickly. It really can. I mean, like what Cheryl was saying, like a year ago, you know, Chelsea and I had just gone diamond and double. And now Chelsea's about to go presidential, and I'm very, very close to ambassador. So a lot can change in a year. And if you know what your goals are, and you really want this for your family, or you want to quit your job, or you want to retire your spouse, or whatever you want to do, you can do it. But you got to get over. You have to get over yourself, because the people who get to the top get there because they've gone through a lot. It wasn't just easy, and you know they just became, you know, Jackie Z, and she just popped up as a presidential. I mean, Jackie and I were talking earlier. I mean, it takes a lot to get where, you know, we are, right? It doesn't just happen, you know, but it's worth it, you know, every single time. Is someone, Jackie, can you mute that? I don't know who that is.
There you go.
Sorry, I was babbling away a little bit. But yeah, I mean, I think everybody, you know, you have to take action in your business if you want it to grow. That's the biggest thing. If you're not doing anything, nothing's going to happen in your business. You know, I saw a great video by one of my girls, and she had it on her team page today. And, you know, she's a busy mom with a little guy. And, you know, even if you can do an hour a day, you know, that's 7 hours in a week. That's, you know, 30 hours in a month, right? If you can do that, I mean, imagine how much you can do. Hop on a power hour, get on a Zoom, and just, you know, ask your upline, get on Zooms, get on that push page with Denise. I mean, there's so much great, you know, I mean, I know for my page, I know Jackie, all of us, we all have, you know, our team pages. We have the tools that you need to succeed. You just have to show up and want it. That's all it is. And learning. That's all it is. And taking action.
Yeah. Totally.
Can I say one more thing?
Yes.
I found something that's helped me was I've connected with a teammate that we will kick each other in the butt if need be. We're not local to each other, and it's Tanya, like we're sidelines, but being friends with her and growing a relationship with her has changed my business because we hold each other accountable and we fill each other's cup all at the same time, right? So I think if you have a teammate that you can have that friendship with and you can take like criticism. I'm trying to think of the word. Criticism, but it's not criticizing you, it's trying to help you. Do you know what I mean? The words escaped me. But I think connecting with your teammates is important. I know you just can't always do it every day, but I think, sometimes filling each other's cup and holding each other accountable and saying, what are you doing to work your business and what are your goals? Like, we try to celebrate, when we do a team Zoom, we try to celebrate the accomplishments, and then we okay, so what are we doing if we're unhappy? We're only allowed to complain for 2 minutes, and then we got to move on. Because you don't want to stay there. You don't want to focus on that. But I just wanted to, that's helped me a lot when I found someone that was willing, give me that kick in the butt when I need it and call me on what I'm not doing. That helped me a lot. So I'd suggest that for anybody.
That's awesome.
I love that. Having that accountability.
Because that is a big deal, I think, because I know that, like, sometimes just having somebody else to watch and, like, emulate after has been really helpful. I know that when I was growing my business in my first year, there was another distributor that was my sideline who was, a few months ahead of me and a few promotions ahead of me, and nothing made me hungrier than watching her grow and finding out what her checks were, and like just kind of being a couple steps behind her made me really hungry. My upline at the time was so far ahead of me that I couldn't see myself in that spot. So it helped having somebody who was closer to where I was growing. And so I think that's really great. Okay, so Cheryl, I love that. And the thing about it is, and it's the same thing like what Tannis said earlier, if you have the desire, the tools, everything is ready for you. There's no lack of information. There's no lack of training. There's no lack of, the kind of, if you want the information, it's there. There's a million YouTube videos. There's our team groups, everything. Like, we have these calls, the information's unlimited. I think sometimes what people are missing is their why. And I think sometimes what people are missing is the self-esteem that they have, that they believe that they deserve what they want to create. So sometimes focusing on, I like how you said you had to, like, sit there and self-audit, and you're like, how am I different than them? And you realize that you weren't. You just needed to ask more people. Well, that's a huge aha moment. And I think that everybody needs to take, like, something away from that, because that's huge.
Yeah.
I love it. Okay, so we have a couple people who have been so patient with their hand up. So Danielle, Cheryl, thank you so much for sharing. I love what you had to share. I love every time you share. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Danielle, did you want to go next?
Yes. I was just wondering, how do I tell people that are interested in joining the team that it's worth it?
How do you tell them that joining the team is worth it?
Yes.
Are you going through, how are you connecting with them? Are you doing this at home parties? Are you doing this online? Or is it just people you're talking to directly? Like, paint a picture for us.
There are people who I'm talking to directly. There's about 3 people that are interested, and they ask me, is it worth it? And just if it's worth it. And I don't know how to explain it to them.
Well, I think that, so I think that your excitement is going to be very important, but whether it's worth it or not is going to come down to what they want and what they want to create. I mean, I love using third-party tools. I love getting people to online parties or getting them to hear it from someone else other than yourself, especially if they're people who are close to you. The income chart is, honestly, when I seen the income chart in the beginning of my business, I couldn't sleep. I had that image in my head. It was the one thing that made me obsessed. And so showing people, the fact that we can show our income chart is humongous. Like the company I was with before, we never had an income chart because they didn't want people knowing that some people at this level were making this much money and some of them were making this much. There was this big gap in between that nobody even knew what was going to come. In our company, what leadership level you're at, this is likely going to be what your check is going to be based on averages. And so I think showing them that income statement is a great idea. Thank you, Karen. And but I think getting them to an online party, getting them to a party in person, inviting them to something, and just keep inviting, I think is the best thing. Does anybody have anything they want to add to that?
Yeah, I love that. And it all comes down to, like you say, asking them what their goals are. Like when people say, oh, like, why should I do this? And I'll be like, okay, well, what are your goals? And make it all about them, and then share your story. The biggest thing is whether you've just started or maybe you've been in the business for a while, you need to have your why and you need to have your story. And that's the biggest thing that Jackie had told me in the beginning, because people want to know why you joined. You can't just say, oh, join my team, $99, it's the best, right? Like, people want to know what's in it for them, because, I mean, I know it's, you know, it's an amazing deal. Our business, I mean, a lot of time you can't open a business or a franchise or anything, you know, for, you know, what our opportunity, you know, could do for your family. But like a lot of times people, it's not even about the money. They're scared, right? So you have to make them feel special. You have to make them feel, you have to tell them what this could do for them and their family, but you want to know their goals. So I always ask people what their goals are, and then I share my story, and then I get them, you know, to tell me, you know, why they've thought about this. You really connect and grow that relationship and that friendship with them, because, you know, I always tell people when they're joining, you know, they're joining a family, right? I mean, some people join, I have distributors that join and, you know, they never want to get on Zooms or message me or talk to me. I mean, there's a lot of people like that too, right? But the ones who join and really want your help and want to grow and learn with you, those are the people that are going to promote with you and change their lives, you know? So be really confident with people, ask them their why they want to do this, and then just assume that they're already going to sign up. And I'm always happy, Danielle, I'm always happy to, like, the three-way party is everything. I'm always happy to help too, along with Tara. So that's what I would recommend.
Perfect. And like, get your upline on a call with them. Like Tannis was saying, she's keen to like help you out. I tell you guys, I built my business on being other people on my team's third party. Like regardless of whether it was Barb Hauser or whether it was Kat, even Steph, I went out and did a bunch of like parties for her and stuff like that. And like, it doesn't matter. That's how I promoted my business, was basically working with somebody who was strong and going and helping and being their third party and going and doing the presentations with them and doing it as much as I can. I think doing it online is a little bit trickier, but at the same time, it can totally be done. But if you have your upline in your backyard, utilize that as much as you can. I know that my upline basically told me she was coming out once for me, and then I had to make the most of it. But I don't do that for my team. I'll come over and over again and keep like booking those parties because I'm happy to go out and do them. So, but just getting sharing somebody else's story sometimes is more important than anything else. Sharing your why and someone else's story is a great combination. That's what I did. And so great question. I love that. So I wanted to ask, who has a Blitz card handy? Because I know earlier in the conversation, mine are in the truck outside of my purse. Karen looks like she's got one handy. So, there we go. So Stephanie has one, Karen has one. So these are our Blitz cards. So someone asked about meeting people in person and how we can share the business. So these are our Blitz cards. They're coupon cards. So when you give these to people, you can help them save $5 off their wrap. The nice thing about it is on our Blitz cards, it talks a little bit about hosting a party and earning one for free. So it's a great way to talk about that. And there's some before and afters on there. Your information's on there. So I like to leave these when I go to different restaurants and different things like that. I like to give them to servers if somebody's giving me, if I'm leaving a tip behind, or if I'm meeting somebody, I leave it as my business card. They're so great to use for all kinds of things. But it's a great way to build your business. You can get Blitz cards in the store. You can get them in your back office. They're wonderful. Like I said, mine are in my car. I don't leave the house without them. There's a stack in my vehicle in case I run out, and then there's some in my purse. You just want to make sure you have them everywhere. So that was the Blitz card question. And then we have another hand up. Where are we at? So Stephanie, you have your hand up. Do you want to go ahead?
Yes, thank you. I was wondering, this may be a simple question, but I know we can sell our wraps for cash, but can we sell the facials for cash as well?
Same thing. Yeah, the facials, yes, you can. The ones that are like the wraps. There are greens facials where you're using the defining gel and you're mixing some greens with it. Those ones are not recommended to be sold by head office. They're not technically compliant. But yes, the ones that are the cloth ones that are just similar to the wraps that you're buying, you would sell them for the exact same price you would sell a wrap. And then Karen's
Okay.
there. So yeah, great question.
So are these the ones?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. I just wanted to double check about that.
Yeah,
So,
no, it's a great question. And
thank you.
I want to definitely share them the same way you're sharing your wraps. All right. Does anyone else have any questions or anything that they want to talk about on this call? I'm going to mute everybody quick again and see if that works. And then if anybody wants to go ahead and put their hand up or speak up, you can. Here we go. So so what happened with our call today is we had a little bit of confusion. I know that Tannis had a time picked, and then Jackie asked me about a time, and I kind of the three of us weren't in the same conversation, and I said yes to one and the other one happened, and so we kind of got mixed up. So if anybody missed the beginning of our call, I apologize. And so it won't happen again, I swear. But the thing about it is that everything happens for a reason. So I think we got to share about some really great things on this call. If anybody has anything that they want to share about Tannis, I know that your team was coming on later. If there's anything you want to cover, we have that time right now. So Tannis, are you still there?
Yeah, sorry, I was just on mute. I know a lot of my girls were talking about, closing the deal and how to get distributors and how to get customers. And, I had a couple, like I posted them on in our group pages and just asked people what they wanted to talk about. So I just had right here. Let me just see. I had it all there. Charlene was asking what to say to create excitement to get people interactive and excited in attending a party. Well, the biggest thing I do when I'm asking or inviting people, like we had a really good online party last night. It was really good. So I always, whenever I do my online parties, I always give my team like a couple of days in advance. And even if you're inviting like 5 solid potentials, you don't want to just click invite. If you go to your friends list and click invite and mass invite everybody, no one's going to show up. People don't feel special that way. So even if you're connecting with 5 people, I usually tend to invite only a couple people and have those be solid potentials. Because if I invite like way too many people and I have way too many people to connect with, I like to like give all my energy to like my team and my potentials and the people like I'm recruiting, of course, right? So I always recommend to really build it up that day. Follow up with those people, because even if you invited them like 2 days ago, you have to follow up with people because people forget or people get busy. Always make your events public. I always make them public and just create that excitement and that urgency. But again, if you're going to be on social media, you have to be consistent. Like I was going through some of the girls just on my team today, and I tend to go look through people's Facebooks if they say that they're having a hard time. And most of the people who are having a hard time, maybe they haven't posted since Thursday, but now it's Wednesday, right? So if you haven't posted for a week, first of all, the algorithm on social media, like you have to be consistent, like if you're going to be growing on social media. So you have to be all about your business and you have to have your brand. You have to really, sorry, what's Kimberly saying? Sorry, what did you, I'm reading. Yeah, you hate it when people just click invite, right? It's terrible when people just, we get added into groups, or I get added into groups or like tight groups or legging groups or makeup groups all the time, or people messaging me asking me to join their business. It's just because those people just don't know what they're doing. Like I'm not mad about it. I just, I'd rather just not say anything, or maybe if it's a friend of mine, I'll maybe send them a message and try and help them in a way, right? Because I don't know. They are a business owner and they're trying. They probably just don't know. Because I remember even after I went diamond, I continued to always do online parties. Even if you have one person show up, if you have them on your timeline and you keep posting about it, I've had so many people become distributors or customers just because they've seen my parties, So who cares if your downline's not showing up, or someone on your team quit, or someone's not getting on Zooms, or someone is complaining or whatever they're doing, just focus on what you're doing, and you're gonna sign up a rock star by putting out what you're doing, by having fun and just being bold and sharing your opportunity. So that's what I really like to focus on and then I'll message the person at maybe later that night or the next morning and ask them how they enjoyed the party, and I try and have lots of my girls be interactive on the party and share their stories and talk about the products, so it gets people excited. I know we had actually quite a few distributors and customers sign up, and then just staying connected with those people, because just because they don't sign up on that day, it doesn't mean that they're not going to sign up in a week from now or a month from now. So just staying connected with those people and being excited and being intentional is the biggest thing. Because most of the time, people aren't just going to message you and be like, okay, I'm ready to sign up. You have to be connecting with them and growing that relationship.
Totally. Yeah, intentional is the most important part. I think that when you know what your why is, everything, the intention part comes easy. You know what I mean? So knowing your why is like the key to your business. It's the key to your success. It's key to everything, and being clear about it. And then I think that the intention just becomes organic and natural once you have the vision.
Exactly. Jen's having a hard time with new people messaging.
Well, hang on a second, Tannis. We have people with their hands up first. No, that's
okay.
Sorry. I want to make sure that we're not getting too far behind because they put their
I'm on my phone. I don't see any hands up. Sorry.
That's okay. So Monique, did you want to go ahead and unmute yourself and share?
Second.
Oh, there you are. We can hear you now.
Okay, good. So I was on the Team Awesome page, and someone posted TechScript. You guys remember that? So it was about texting someone and saying, I need people to try this product. I'll give it to you at my rate, and just get like their credit card info and all that stuff. I don't really understand how that would work if they, like, wouldn't you want to tell them, like, that's signing them up as a loyalty customer, right? So you would want them to either make a 3-month commitment to waive the $60 fee or pay the $60 loyalty customer fee. I didn't really quite get that one.
That's something that I don't know how to text message somebody and close a deal either. If anybody has more experience with that, let me know. It's not if something doesn't line up for you and you can't, you know what I mean, then sometimes it's just not. But maybe Tannis, do you have more experience with that? I know that, are you talking about text messaging, not Facebook messaging, right? Like
well, either way, like any sort of messaging, it was a script that was posted on the page that went through, and it's like, oh, here's a good way to message potential. Just instead of saying like,
oh, is it the Jade Hooper Seal the Deal scripts? That one?
I don't think so. I don't remember.
No, it was the scripts from Denise, right? No?
I think so.
On the push group?
Oh, was it on the push group? Maybe.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe that's it.
Sorry, just piping in.
No, that's okay.
I'm proud of you for asking a question.
Oh, thanks.
Have you used voice message at all? Using voice message is really key. That letting them hear your voice.
Yeah, no, it's not really about that. It's about like what the script was, like how they worded it, and how it was something to the effect of, oh, I really need your help in, testing this product. Can you try this for a month and get it back to me, and I'll give it to you at my discounted rate, like that sort of thing.
I tend to not like scripts because they seem too salesy, but that's just me.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I don't follow scripts because, every single person you're talking to is a different personality, I don't know. I don't like scripts. I base it on who I'm talking to, whether I've known that person a long time or it's a new friend or someone on social media. That's why you want to get to know them a little bit, and you follow their timeline, kind of see what their interests are, see what they're all about. Because, I don't know, scripts don't work for me. They never have. but I know a lot of girls love them. So I don't
Well,
know.
I think too, though, if it was posted in your team page, like if Stephanie Ash posted it, you should tag her and just ask her, because she probably connected to that post, right? And she's the one that shared it. So I would just tag her, and I would ask in that, like, you know, if there's a missing piece to it, I would just make sure you ask directly to the post where it has the information, because we're all trying to imagine what it looks like.
Yeah. No.
But it's a great question. It's a fabulous question. And I don't blame you for being confused, because that's always me too. I know that Jade Hooper if it is the Jade Hooper ones, I'm not sure that it is or not, but if it is, she's had great success with sending out messages to people and closing the deal. And sometimes what one distributor can do can seem very confusing and elusive to someone else. And I think that my advice is to find out what you enjoy, what connects with you the most. If you love to meet people in person, then keep meeting people in person. If Facebook is easier for you or makes more sense, then do that.
Honestly, I don't know what's easy for me, because I just started. So
okay.
I'm feeling it out. But
scripts give me good ideas.
Right. That's a great way to say it, Stephanie, is that like use the scripts as a bit of a guideline for the fact that it gives you permission to kind of ask more questions or share more information, or how to close. Like I like the closing lines. I find that that's where I need help with, and everybody needs help with different parts of it. Karen, go ahead.
I use the scripts for my close friends and family, and that's how I got my first loyal customers when I started. So basically all I said was, I'm looking for product testers to test the product, whatever it was, I just picked something, for 3 consecutive months. And then that's all I said. And then they would come back with, okay, how much does it cost? Okay, well, I'll give you my discount for the 3 consecutive months. After the 3 months, you're not obligated to purchase anything anymore. It's only the 3-month commitment. If you want to purchase it afterwards, by all means, we can set you up. But it's only for the 3 months that I'm looking for people to give me testimonials and before and afters. And I had a huge success from that.
Yeah, okay, and I mean, that's a great way to do it. You're basically starting a conversation, so don't try to get everything in one conversation, because that doesn't work. I mean, talking about how Jackie Martin got recruited is a great testimony to not give too much information at once. You just want to give, put the question out there, wait for a response, and then have the conversation back and forth, and they'll have questions. And you just want to make sure you're clear with, like what Karen said, is that, you're committing to 3 months. Whatever you decide to do after that is like up to you.
And I only sent this to people that I already have a relationship with, close friends and family. I didn't do this to a cold market.
Okay.
Sign them up?
Sorry?
Like you would just sign them up as a loyalty customer?
Yep. They think they're a product tester, but
would you manage their e-suites for them?
No, I sent
they don't have an e-suite. They're customers.
Or whatever.
I send them a loyal customer email, and in the email I say, thank you so much for doing my 3-month product challenge. This is the product you're getting, and I list whatever it is. Here's the benefits, whatever it is. And then I put, here's my website, here's your username, here's your password. It'll automatically come out if today's the, I don't even know, 25th, 24th? Today's the 24th, so it's your first month, your first shipment. On June 24th, it'll be your second shipment, and on July 24th, it'll be your third shipment. If you decide after that to continue going, perfect. If you don't, let me know. And then if for whatever reason you don't like the product, we can easily switch your product to something different for you to try.
And would you switch the product for them every month?
No. I have like 60 some odd customers. If I did that for all my customers, I'd be spending time changing shipments. No. I send them their username, them the password, them the website, and I say, if you have questions, let me know.
They have their own. They have their own landing page. They can go in and do everything they want. They can change their ship address. They can change their, billing information. They can change their products. You want to teach them how to be independent, and the email actually explains all of that, like Karen's saying. And so the only time I ever edit any of my customers' own orders is when they're kind of computer illiterate, and that does happen sometimes when you have elderly customers or anything like that. But generally I try to get them to do it themselves. But I have a few people who are just like, I get too confused and I don't like it. And they just tell me what they want, and I go in and I do it for them. So when I sign somebody up directly myself, I always use their last name as the password. So it's easy for them and it's easy for me. And I always remember, that way I know what their password is. All I got to do is figure out what their ID number is, and I can get into their account and help them if I need to. Very rarely do I need to do that.
Okay. I just when with the whole I need you to try these products, like I guess you would just tell them like what they need to change every month in their auto shipment.
Well, if they're doing the same
product testing, it's usually one product, isn't it?
Yeah.
And if they're
One
doing
product
3
for-
months.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I'm confused because I thought it was like a different product every month that they were just like.
No, they have the choice. If they order, say, hair, skin, and nails, and they find, okay, I don't want to do this next month, I want to try the greens, they have the option of changing it up.
Okay.
But I always say 3 consecutive months for one product. It takes your body about 3 months to adjust to a new product in your system anyway, so you want to be on it for 3 consecutive months to notice the difference.
Okay.
Can I add something to that?
Yeah.
You know what? I feel like when I think it's good that our customers do have their own
landing page.
Yeah, I think that's really great. But I do find the more I take care of my customers, and I'm always connected with them, I always sign them up as distributors. Because I'll tell you right now, I run out of customers because I stay super connected with them and get them really excited, and then they see my posts on Facebook, and then I flat out ask them. I say, you should join my team, girl. Like, you're loving your product so much, and I actually offer them the opportunity right away. So I think it's great, and I mean, yeah, we shouldn't have to do everything for them, and I think it's great. But if you go that little extra mile, I also send a thank you card to my customers and samples, because if I send them samples of something that they haven't tried, they always buy it. And then, sending a little thank you card and, just showing that you care, and then, just really, get that extra customer service goes a long way. And that is how I sign a lot of distributors, and my customers give me referrals too. And they'll do parties for me, or they'll send people my way, So I think it's great to always have, I know you guys all connect with your customers. That's not what I'm saying, but I know for a fact that all the customers I really connect with that don't know what they're doing, I almost build that relationship even more, and I get them to sign as a distributor.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I think that do what works for you and be personable, connect with people, and everybody's a little bit different, and you'll figure that out as you go along. I think it depends on who your clients are and stuff like that, but Tannis has some really great tips there. And I think that the email clears up a lot for people. That helps tremendously. And I've had to resend it to people, and that's no problem too. But yeah, it's quite easy for them to manage their own account and for you to be able to help them. And Karen also wrote in the bottom on the message here that you can always get your customers to turn on the consultant helper, basically, where you as a distributor can go in and make changes on their account on their behalf. And so there's ways for you to help, but staying connected with them and staying engaged and offering them the opportunity and showing them different products and stuff like that. It's all fun and easy to do all that kind of stuff. It doesn't really even feel like work. All right, so great question. Thank you so much for sharing, Monique. And so we're gonna go to Cheryl next.
I'm sorry. I just thought of something, and it's not so much about loyal customers, but I put my hand up a little while ago. I find with myself, when I first joined, to be honest, I didn't see the full potential. Right? So I joined to make that extra few $100s a month. And I find when I'm doing posts, like if I go to the grocery store and I take a picture of my shopping cart, I just build my pantry with my It Works pay or whatever. People can see that. Some people can see that more than they can say, well, I'm going to buy my dream house and retire. Do you know what I mean? I found I got a lot more response when I'm posting things like that. I learned that not everybody is going to see that vision right away, right? So some people just want to be able to go to the grocery store and spend $500, or I got to send Jade to camp twice last summer. That was a big thing for me because I was homeless for 3.5 years, so I could point those things out, right? And people seem to relate to those. So that was just something. If you don't have your own story, you're still making money, and you can still post about what It Works is doing for you, even if it hasn't made you $10,000 a month yet.
Yet.
Yeah, that's really, you know what? I love that. That's a really good point. People are going to connect more with like you buying your like, you know, groceries, diapers, food, your fruits, your veggies, all these kinds of things. You know, having that extra couple $100 a month makes more sense for people than $10,000 a month. Like I know that before I started my It Works business, had someone said to me, hey, that girl over there, she's making, you know, $11,000 a month, I would have been, yeah, right. Don't even think I would have believed it. But because it was somebody that I knew personally, it made more sense for me. And, you know, I knew her personally, so I believed it, and that made more sense for me. But I think that most people you're totally right. And the people are looking for $500 a month. They're looking for $200 a month. They're looking for $700 a month. When we start to get into anything around $10,000, people's like ability to wrap their head around it kind of fades away, because there are doctors that don't make that much money. There are a lot of trades out there. I know I could ask Nahani how much money everybody makes in all these different trades, because she knows everything, and it blows my mind. But Nahani, it's true though, right? Like doctors, there's a window, and there's a lot of general practitioners or doctors that are just getting started. And do you want to share what that, like the starting rate of a few different professions is, so people can see that how hard $10,000 a month can be to wrap your head around?
Well, a GP practitioner, so like your regular family doctor here in Winnipeg who's starting out, is like between 80 and 90,000 a year.
Wow.
And he or she had to go to school to get a Bachelor of Science. Then they had to go to med school, and then they had to do all their practicums and everything like that, and probably pay off, depending on where they went to school, 6 figures in student loans and books and living expenses and everything. And then to specialize, it's at least 12 years. And I have a girlfriend who just became a dermatologist, and she's just making over 6 figures, but she's $250,000 in debt.
Oh no.
12 years of school.
Wow.
So yeah, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy.
Nahani, off the top of your head, so that's what a doctor would make starting into, like, getting into the profession. What would a lawyer make? Do you know, or is there a couple other is there a couple other professions off the top of your head that you just know the numbers to?
Well, I can tell you my girlfriend is a Crown attorney working for the province. She has a great job, and she's been there for about 9 years, and she kills herself for her job. Like, it's insane. She has to work the gang units. She has to work all these things, put her life in danger. The province actually pays for her house alarm to help protect her and stuff. And she's making like $120 a year. Like, wow. $120. Like, to go through all that stuff and put your family through all that stress for $120 a year, and she's in her 40s still paying off student loans.
Wow. So I find that super interesting, because like I was saying earlier today that I had a family member that kind of had something to say about my industry and my business, and none of it was actually factual or a solid information. It was all somebody's opinion, which I like always have to shake my head at how people put so much leverage on what somebody else's opinion of something is. Lots of disinformation. Anyways, she's been a student. She's 35 years old now. She's been in university since she's been able to be in university. So I don't know how much she's in debt. I still don't know what she's in school for, but she had the audacity to criticize our industry because of people posting on social media. And I just had to shake my head and just like wonder what people are actually thinking, because the amount of money that she's going to get paid by the time she decides she's finished school, she may never finish school. She may be in school for the rest of her life. No one really knows. But it's interesting because people don't think anything about the fact that somebody can go to school for, 8 years, spend $200,000 and still maybe don't have a job when everything is said and done. Because there's always a risk now of coming out, and there's, 40 people in front of you that are in line for the same job. The beautiful thing about this industry is we decide what we're doing. We decide what level we want to get to, and we don't have to pay like $100,000 to get there. And, so when people say that you're risking something to try this business, I literally could almost spit out, if I was drinking water, I would have spit it all out, because it was the most ridiculous thing I ever heard, that people, the only thing you're risking in a business like this is a couple $100 to get started. And whatever it is that you decide to invest in yourself, it's you that is your product, and but if it doesn't work out for you, you don't owe $200,000, or if it's a brick and mortar, you have to spend a couple $100,000 to buy this building, and maybe it doesn't work with employees and pay insurance and all these different kinds of things. Like, this is by far the easiest, simplest, no-brainer business I've ever seen when it comes to getting started and the kind of investment that you can put in and what you can get back out of it. No comparison, even comparing doctors who have gone to school and paid that money. And what's your prize? Like, they usually work very long hours. They're, the quality of life, like, I don't know what you guys, but I've gone in to see a doctor and it's been years, but like, their eyes are bloodshot. They look exhausted. They're not happy. Like, they're working their butts off and they're living their dream. And so I think there's a lot of misconceptions of what success actually looks like. Because to me, I think that what success looks like is happiness and enjoying your family and enjoying your life. And the beautiful thing about it is we can grow our business while we enjoy our life and we enjoy all these beautiful things that the universe has to offer us. And so I'm going to stop ranting right now because I could keep going on.
My friend, can you guys hear me? Yeah. My friend who's a plastic surgeon, she told me I make more money than her.
Oh, yeah.
And she went to school for like, oh my gosh, like a really long time. And she practiced for 1.5 years and decided that she just wanted to be like a stay-at-home mom. Like, her husband's a doctor too. So, and she messaged me, and here is coming, because there's going to be those negative people, and there's going to be those people who are happy for you. She messaged me last week, and she's on Facebook, but not really. She messaged me, sent me a text message. She said to me, you know what? I just want you to know how proud I am of you, because I see all your hard work. I know I know the work that you're putting into it, even though it's two different things. She's a doctor, I'm a rap girl. It's two different things, right? But, she acknowledged, like, there's going to be those people who are going to be happy for you and they're going to get it. I have friends like that. And then there's going to be those negative people who are in their own little planet. And hey, it's great if they love their jobs. That's great, right? But if they're being negative towards you because they just don't understand, maybe they're just informed. Like, I didn't understand about this industry at all. But it is the better way. There's no other place that you can decide your paycheck. Like, when I joined and I knew the income Jackie was making, I was like, okay, tell me what I need to do. What do I need to do to get there? So, and I really like soaked up as much knowledge as I could. And I still get on every Zoom I can, party events. My girls are always doing parties, because the more you're learning and growing, that's how your business grows. And that's how you grow as a person, and you are your business.
Yeah, it's true. And like Nahani said, like, they're coming from a position of ignorance. And I was that person one time too, about so many things. There's one thing that I learned was to, like, never say never and not to judge things before I understand them. And so we try to do that, and as much as we can, because I think that, like, no one ever was a little girl, and it maybe now, but nobody ever, like, when I was a little girl, there really wasn't a lot of people in direct sales. The world is changing. The universe is changing. Technology changes. And so when you have a company or an opportunity where it doesn't cost you a bunch of money to get started, but what you can do with it is incredible. There's no overhead. We're not paying for a bunch of stores and a bunch of insurance and a bunch of things that we're not using. The thing about direct sales is there's no fat to cut. You know what I mean? If you don't work, it doesn't, nobody gets paid. If you work your butt off, you get paid what you're worth. So there's a scale there. And yeah, it's very interesting. It's a very fair system, I think. But people are always going to hate on it and not understand it and not get it. That's okay. Let them. Haters going to hate. You're never going to eliminate people like that from the planet. All you can do is choose to be happy and stay in your own lane and not worry about what other people are doing. And honestly, sometimes I just giggle to myself because, they are these people who are spending half their life in school, and like all of the money that they could be, be enjoying, they're going into debt for it. And so we don't need to do that in order. I mean, there's so many people that have done that route, gone to school, gotten their degrees, gotten their masters, and then turn around and gone into a business like this. And this is what paid off their debt. So, I mean, that's happened many times. I know that, like, that's Kat's story. I wish she was on the call to share it with you guys. But okay, so we're coming into our almost our 2 hours. So I know Tara's patiently had her hand up, so I'm going to go to Tara, and then we're going to wrap the call up.
All right, I have a few questions. All right, so I'll just let them all out, and then we can answer whatever we have room for. I know there's some new people on the call, and I have some of my new people on too. One question that a lot of people always ask, how many times a day should people be posting on social media? I know the 3-3 rule. I know that's one that a lot of girls have asked. And then I know I was waiting patiently, I almost forgot what I was going to ask. One girl had mentioned about. No, I'm good. I was literally, I'm a sponge. I was absorbing it all.
I love Tara.
So I know. So like, my other question was, one of the girls was mentioning about how to seal the deal, or the scripting was in there. And one thing that I could really say that Tannis has taught me is really, really build that relationship. And I actually need to share with you guys, while I was on the call, I got a Facebook message, and this girl, I don't even know. I don't even know how long we've been Facebook friends for. I just constantly like comment and like on her stuff. And last week I noticed that she put, does anyone have those wraps? It's like, listen, girl, you know that I do these. This is what I'm thinking in my head, right? So I was the first one that posted on there, like, hey girl, I'm messaging you. I'm super excited. So then I voice message her. I always use voice message. I barely even text anymore. And I know that she's been wanting to order, but I'm not like pushing her. We're getting to that, like, all right, are you ready to order kind of thing. She literally messaged me as we're on the phone and said, hi, I didn't forget about you. I'm ordering when I get paid this week. I'm super excited. I will be in touch. And it's like, and not to mention, since when I put that post on there was at least, I counted 30, and I stopped counting after that, how many people tagged other people in there. And she actually chose me out of all those other people because honestly, I'm a firm believer in building the relationship. And like I said, I don't even know how we even became friends on Facebook. We kind of just did. And I just constantly be a friend. I wear my heart on my sleeve, and I show everyone how to be a friend. So that's a little tip I wanted to give. But my question was on how many times a day to post on social media that a lot of new people wanted to know.
Do you want me to answer that, Jackie?
Yeah, you're the queen on Facebook. So,
well, first of all, Tara has like the best energy. Am I echoing? No. Okay, sorry, it was echoing there for a second. Tara, you have like the best energy. So like, she's always putting out, like, she listens to everything, and she's super, super busy. She's a mom. She works full time. She's actually in the hospital right now with her sister. So kudos to you, Tara, for always being involved. But you know what? I always tell people, if you're starting your business and you're going to work on social media, get going right away. I mean, you want everybody getting their 4 customers right away. So get your online parties going, set up a launch at your house, or ask a friend to do a launch party. Start wrapping people. Like when I joined, and my goal was to get to Diamond right away and get that $10,000 bonus, I was doing everything. But Facebook is what everyone could do. Everybody's on Facebook, whether you work or you're busy or whatever you're doing. And lots of girls who work, they set up their buffer, right? They can have their posts scheduled. So there really shouldn't be an excuse if you're going to work on social media. I post every 2 hours, every 2 to 3 hours, but that's just me. I also make sure it's not all it works. I start in the morning by either a post, inspirational post, just something, happy. You see all these miserable people on Facebook complaining and being negative. Be something positive and happy first thing in the morning. And it'll also be a good way to start your own day too, right? So I always like to do that. Then maybe an hour or 2 or an hour and a half, 2 hours later, I like to do maybe a product post. And then maybe 2 hours after that, I'll do a post where I'm getting people interaction, asking someone a question, or what are your thoughts on this, and getting people, or a cool picture of something where people are like connecting on your page, right? And then maybe 2 hours after that, I'll do an opportunity post. I do at least 1 or 2 opportunity posts a day. For sure I do. For sure 1. And then maybe 2 hours after that, I'll maybe do a video of like my daughter playing outside, or just you're inviting people into your life when it's social media, right? So I was telling one of my girls, and she just joined on right now, and I wasn't saying anything ever to, be rude or make someone feel bad. just give constructive criticism, but you don't want to share posts. When someone shares a post, and whether it's a video or a picture or, it's okay to do that every now and then, but make your own posts. So if you're sharing a post about a recipe or something, that's fine, but don't share, like, I've seen a lot of my girls lately on their timeline, like, share posts of like bad news or something horrible that happened, or don't share stuff like that. You want to kind of keep that off your social media. So keep your social media very uplifting and positive, even if you're having a crappy day. I had a crappy afternoon and I didn't post about it on Facebook, because people don't need to hear that Tannis is having a rough afternoon. Nobody cares, right? People want to hear, that you have to be the light in people's lives. That's why they're going to want to join you in your opportunity, because they see something positive. And I know I was talking about this with my girls today. I feel like a lot of us are going through hard times. I'm going through some things. Everybody's going through shit in their lives. But just get over it and remember why you joined your business, and pour your heart into your business, and you'll get over that, whatever you're going through. I feel like we're all always going through something, whether it's personal, mental, physical, family stuff, maybe with a spouse. But just remember that everyone's going through something. And I mean, look at Tara. Tara's going through lots right now, and she still is on social media. She sets up her buffer all the time. She's on parties all the time. She's on Zooms all the time, because she has big goals for her and her family. So I hope that helps a little bit. So if you're going to be on social media, I say to post every 2 to 3 hours. That's just one
more thing that you were saying, and I want to reiterate it. Like, you're like, I had a bad day today, but I didn't have to post about it. The reality of it is that nobody cares. And I know you said that, and I'm going to say it again. The thing about it is that nobody does. People want to hear positive, loving things. They want to hear caring things. It's not that people don't care about you, but nobody wants to turn their Facebook on and be like they don't want to hear depressing news and stuff. And I'm sure you've heard this before, Tannis, too, that people are like, oh my gosh, I just love that you share such positive things. There's just so many negative things going on in the world, and it's nice that when I know that when
all
I go
the
to
time.
your wall that I'm going to see something positive. And I'm of the opinion, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say nothing at all. You're better off to not post than post something that is in some way it's going to ruin somebody else's day, basically.
Yeah, and post things that are going to get your audience attracted to your page, right? Like, post something, like, if you have a lot of friends that you're working on and they're interested in like dogs, or like, I mean, everybody knows how much I love my dog. Everybody likes dogs, I think. If people don't like dogs, I don't really understand what's wrong with them. I don't want them on my team. So I'm just joking. I'm just joking. That's terrible. But for example, I'm not going to talk about anything controversial, because I don't want people mad at me about anything just because I have a view on something. Just like for the fact that I don't eat animals, right? I'm not going to post something like that on social media. Jackie, you and I have talked about this, because that could turn people off of me. It could, because I don't care. You know what I mean? I don't care if someone eats meat, but I don't need to be talking about that on my Facebook, right? Post about things that are uplifting and exciting and happy, and people will want to be part of your journey. If you're talking about negativity and, oh, I had a shitty day, and I've seen that on my Facebook, and I flat out will message girls on my team and be like, take that off your Facebook. It's not going to help you. So, because nobody needs that, right?
Well, the thing about it is that everybody has an opinion on something, and you're not going to change someone's opinion based on a Facebook post. It only happens through real conversations with people when they're wanting to learn. And so I'm like queen of controversy, and I love having a strong opinion, but you know my Facebook, you know what I mean? I share my strong opinion with my strong friends who can handle, it and have their own opinions back, and I love that. But it's not meant for Facebook, and that's okay. So, Honey, want to share something? Yeah, you know what? I'm the same way. There's people that I followed, and like, Honey, why don't you just unmute yourself and share that, because I think that's really important.
So last year, I think it was about a year ago, there was an ambassador from the States who had just moved into a new home, and she had some issues in her home going on. And she, like, it was awful. Like, I should say I found it awful. And like, she was sobbing and ugly crying and literally hating on this company, and like full on telling, and she has like 60 or 80,000 followers on her Facebook, and she was like throwing this company under the bus and throwing her insurance company under the bus and just being awful. And like, I remember watching her followers, because you can see it, and I was watching them go down. Like, I was watching people like unfollow, and I watched a couple of her videos just because they had showed up in my timeline. And I think after like the second or third one, I wouldn't even click on them anymore because I just knew what it was going to be about. And like, I totally stopped following her. And I have to say, and like, maybe this is wrong of me, but when I see her up on stage, or when I see her doing all these things, I think like, you showed your true colors when you were like being nasty. And you know, like, you can't do that. Like, Facebook's supposed to be your highlight reel. Like, it's exactly like a couple other people said, like, everybody has junk going on in their life.
Yeah.
You don't post about it.
Right. You know what, Nahani? I remember all that happening. I followed that ambassador too. And that's the moment following her, because I honestly, the things that she was making into a big deal, and it was like it was an appliance company, and that she was hating on, and she was trying to use her social media presence in order to make a point and like fight against this other company, which is going to damage your business. It's going to affect. You have to kind of sit there and figure out, is it worth it or not for you to put your effort into fighting for things? Because I know the same thing happened to me when we moved out to BC. All of our stuff got destroyed. Everything got destroyed when we moved, and I had a nervous breakdown. I had a couple of anxiety attacks, and I had like a lot of stuff going on. I wanted to go online and rip the company a new one, and I wanted to like make an example of them and call them out, and like, because I didn't feel like I was treated properly. I had to figure out whether it was worth it for me to go through that much stress and turmoil, or if I should just walk away and figure it out on my own and replace the things. I realized that if I grew my business, I could make the money back that I lost much quicker than if I had tried to use my resources in a negative way to try and like get even and get back at that company for what they did to me. The reality of it is they're going to do what they're going to do anyways. I needed to move on for my own peace, my own sanity, and for all that I love for myself. And I did not want to turn into that person who, you know what I mean, who came out on social media, because that's all you guys would think about me as, you know what I mean, and stuff. And you just have to do the math. It's not worth it. It's just not worth it. It just is not worth it. You can build your business in a positive way. You're going to get way more business from it, which is really what your goal is. And so that's such a great point. I love that. So people are watching you. They remember all these things, even though we might forget what we posted a year ago. People do remember. So it's a good reminder.
Every time I hear her name, I just think of like a whiny, misbehaved toddler that needs a good smack. Like,
well, she was throwing a fit, basically.
She was.
And you just picked the wrong platform. But yeah, no, it's true. So great point. So social media, you basically want, what did you say? Your highlight reel? That's a great way to look at it. I think everybody on this call knows that already. I don't think anybody on this call vents on social media that way. So I think that's great. And keeping things that are controversial off, like politics and religion, and sometimes some of our personal choices about certain things, vaccines and different things like that. You know what, you can post about it if you want to, but don't expect to go up. It's your choice. It's your social media. It's your life. It's yours. No one's going to tell you no. Well, Tannis might tell you no. No one else is going to tell you no. But the thing about it is you have to make a choice between sometimes your business or sharing a message that really, honestly, only the people who believe what you believe are going to agree with it anyways. You're not going to change anyone's opinion. You're not going to change anyone's opinion on things like politics and, certain views on the medical system and different things like that. So share peace and loving things, share the things that you're happy about, share the things you have joy for, share what you love, because that's what the world needs more of. So yeah, be the example, right? You want to be the example that you want to see in the world. Okay, so we need to wrap this call up. It's been way too
Yeah.
long.
Let's do another hour right now. Come on. I'm just joking.
Okay, so thank you guys all. Thank you for
everyone.
sharing. Thank you, Hanny. And thank you, Tannis, and everybody else that shared on the call. We're going to share on our next week call. We're going to talk a little bit more about doing parties and generating excitement. We'll talk maybe a little bit more about blitzing. And if you guys have anything that you want to know more about, you want special training, and then just let us know. We always like to have some sort of questions or some sort of structure before we get into the call, and then we know what we're doing. And next week we will definitely be more clear on the start time, I promise. Okay, so this call is being recorded, so if anybody missed the beginning and wants to catch up, it's not going to be a problem. I'll probably have it first thing tomorrow. We're just heading out right now, and but I should have it up by tomorrow morning. So thank you guys.
Okay. I won't be on next week.
Thank you.
I won't be here.
Okay. Oh yeah, you'll be in Spain, right?
Yeah, so I won't be here
Okay.
if that's.
You will be. You'll be running the call from Spain, right?
I'll be running it from Spain. Okay. Thanks, guys, so much. That was fun.
Okay, well, you guys
I'll
have a
get
great
Mark
night.
on. Okay,
Soon.
bye.